Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to debunk 6 common quilting myths. I'm really excited to do this and I can't wait to hear what you think of my opinions. These are just my opinions, but I'd love to hear yours, so leave me a comment down below at the end of this video. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button down below. Let's get started. So myth number 1 is quilting is for grandmas? Maybe. I don't know where you got that opinion from, but I don't think quilting is just for grandmas. First of all, I've met a lot of people through this journey on YouTube that are of all races, colors, shapes, sizes, and ages. I've met people all the way down into their 20s and then all the way up through grandma age. I just think that this is the worst myth out there, that it's only for grandmas. I've even seen people as young as their teenage years running a long arm machine. So is quilting really just for grandmothers? What does the industry say? So there's an industry survey that comes out every year in the industry world, the quilting industry, that does state that the overall general age is a certain age, so it's a certain demographic. And mostly it's women and mostly it's a certain age group. But we've seen a trend in the industry the last few years where the age, when I started in the industry, the average age of a quilter was 75. Over the last couple of years, that has come down significantly to about 66. So the age group is getting younger and younger. We're adding a bunch of new younger quilters to that group, which is kind of helping that average. And as the older folks are aging out of quilting from one way or another, whether they're no longer with us or they've retired from it, that is bringing the age down a bit too. And one thing that we did gain, which was nice from the pandemic, if we can look at a positive side, is that we gained a bunch of brand new quilters that on the younger side. So the average age of quilters is coming down. So it's no longer just for grandmothers. And I'm really excited about that because I'm not ready to be a grandmother. And I've been quilting for years now. I've been sewing since I was 6 and actually was taught by my grandmother, but she was not a quilter. She thought quilting was a waste of fabric. She was a garment sewer. But she came from that Depression era of the 1930s, 1920s, 1930s. And her family came from that era and taught her that she had to be frugal and use up everything and no waste. And she looked at quilting as a waste of fabric. So quilting is not just for grandmothers. My grandmother was not a quilter, but I am. So I think this is a myth that we can say is false. So let's go on to myth number 2. Myth number 2. Quilters are such nice people. Well, are they? For the most part, most of the quilters I've met are very kind and very nice people. So nice, in fact, that they will do things behind your back and not tell you. And some of it is with good intentions, and some of it is not with not so good intentions. So the term quilting police didn't come from nowhere. You all know what I'm talking about. Are quilting police nice people? They're quilters, and quilters are nice, right? Maybe not so much. Quilting police are those who like to tell us all that we're doing things the wrong way, or that your makes look the wrong way, or something like that. And we all know that there's people out there like that, and they're quilters just like us. So maybe they are not so nice. Quilting police bug us all, but I really think, from looking at it from a different perspective, is that their intention is still kind-hearted. I believe the quilting police are out there trying to help you and trying to help you improve, and maybe just don't know how to say it the right way. I have to believe that's true because I want to believe that people are good at heart and they've got good intentions, but maybe their delivery is a little bit off. The other thing I think about when I think quilters are nice is competition. Competitions can be fierce, right? So we'll go to competitions and we'll look at all these quilts, and if the one that you thought shouldn't have won, or if your quilt's in a competition and it didn't win, you might start criticizing all the other quilts. So is that nice? I don't know. I'm not saying you're bad. I think it's human nature. I've done the same thing. I'm guilty as charged. But are we so nice? I think our intention is to be good and nice, but we all have that competitive drive. We all feel like we want to win. But the good thing about quilting, and the thing that I love about it in competition, is that it's not what has happened in like the rest of the world, right? The rest of America, with like kids in sports competitions where everyone wins a trophy. Nope. Quilting competitions, there's only one first place winner, one second place winner, and one third place winner. And I kind of like that because it makes you really think about your next move and how to improve and how to do better. And I always say progress over perfection, and I think it helps you make progress, which giving everybody a trophy, is that really helping people make progress? No. Okay, so the other thing is guilds. Have you ever been a member of a guild? I have. I am no longer a member of the guild because even though I don't feel like the intention of some of the guild members was to treat me not so nice, I think that it's natural for women to kind of run in packs. And if you're new in the outsider, which is the spot I found myself in a couple of years ago at my guild, they don't tend to want to let you in. And let's go back to the average age of quilters. I was the youngest person in my guild by at least 10 years. And so I was kind of left out and wasn't very accepted. So I chose not to re-up this year for my guild because I didn't feel like I was very accepted. I tried. I was myself. I was kind. I tried to speak to people, but nobody wanted to include me. But I think that's also a natural thing. Like I said, with women, we tend to run in packs and we tend to not invite new people in, which is kind of a sad thing to me. But is it nice, or is it the intention is not correct? I don't know. So there's a little few things. So are quilters nice or not? Is that true? Are quilters nice, true or false? I think overall most quilters are nice. So I'm going to say true. But there's a couple things in there that I'll let you think about, and you can tell me down below whether you think quilters are nice or not. So let's go to myth number 3. So myth number 3, quilters keeping it real, or quilters real. Think about this one for a minute. So let's say you went to a quilt show with a friend and your quilt is hanging there and your friend comes up to you and says, "Oh, wow, yours is the best quilt here." And you know that's a lie. Because you know you haven't been quilting as long as half the other people there, and there are some absolutely gorgeous quilts. So why do we do that? I think we do that because we love our friends, number one, and number two, we want to make them feel great about their make. I've done that. I've been guilty for that, and I know people have done it to me. Does that make us not real though? No, I think that makes us kind, loving people. So that kind of goes back to the nice category, right? We're trying to be nice to each other. But also the other side of keeping it real is, are we keeping it real with ourselves? Quilters say all the time, "Oh, that's not good enough. Oh, that's not like his or hers or whatever." But we have to keep it real with ourselves. We need to check ourselves against ourselves. So maybe this isn't perfection, the thing that you're working on right now, but compare it to something you did a year ago. Is it better? Probably, because you've had a lot more practice. So keep it real and make sure that you're not so hard on yourself. Compare yourself only to yourself, and then you won't be so disappointed. Quilters are our own worst enemy. We're the hardest on ourselves. But also keep it real with your friends. If you see something of theirs and you really are a good friend, and you can say to them, "Hey, that looks fabulous. Can I suggest something that might help you in the future?" Keep it real. That's all I'm saying. So are quilters real or not? I think we are for the most part. So I'm going to say true. I just think that we also are very kind, warm-hearted people, and we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. All right, so let's go on to myth number 4. Myth number 4, quilting is old-fashioned. True or false? I'm going to say false on this one, and I'm going to tell you why. I think hand stitching, hand piecing, hand quilting is amazing, and I live in the great state of Ohio, and I love my state. A big part of my state is quilting. There's almost 100 quilt shops in my state alone. But is it old-fashioned? No. There are people here in my state, the Amish and Mennonite community, that more the Amish that don't use electricity and still stitch by hand, or they'll use the old sewing machines with the foot pedal that there's no electricity to. Is that a little old-fashioned? Yes, but that's the way they choose to quilt. You have, as a person that doesn't live that way, a lot more choices nowadays. There's so many cool gadgets, so many awesome sewing machines, so many long arm quilting machines that it doesn't have to be old-fashioned. But if you like it to be old-fashioned, you love to hand quilt or hand stitch, do what you love to do. That doesn't mean that what you're doing is old-fashioned. Plus, there's a whole array of new patterns, modern bright fabrics, and all those kind of things that also help get away from that old-fashioned thought. But if you love Civil War reproduction fabrics and you want to piece it and quilt it all by hand, by all means do that. But does that mean quilting is old-fashioned? No. Is it timeless? Yes. I think quilting is going to be around for a long, long time. But it definitely doesn't have to be old-fashioned. I think the electric sewing machine, long arm quilting machines, and all the other fun gadgets that we have make it not old-fashioned. So I'm going to call false on this myth. Myth number 5, that quilting is safe, or it's a safe hobby. I'm not so sure about that. I've seen a lot of pictures in Facebook groups of things that people have done to themselves. And I fully admit, at my very first retreat, I cut a piece of my finger off. I'm going to put up a picture here in just a minute. So this is a trigger warning. If you don't want to see an injury from a rotary cutter, look away. But with these big tools, do you think we're safe? This is a rotary cutter, for those of you who might not know, who might be watching this. And it's got a safety on it for a reason, so that blade's not sticking out. Can you imagine dropping that on your foot or your toe? What about these scissors? These are Ginger dressmaker scissors. I can probably cut my finger off with these. So is quilting safe? I don't think so. Take a look at the picture. And myth number 6, quilters are stable, happy people. I don't know about that. I've met a lot of people through this journey, and for the most part, quilters are really happy, stable people. But you see signs all over the place that say, quilting is my therapy. Wonder why we need that. I've also met some interesting people along the way that I'm not quite so sure I would call stable. That's a story for another day. But what other hobby do you take super sharp instruments, cut up a perfectly good piece of fabric into a million little pieces, stab it a million times over and over again with pins and needles, just to sew it all back together and call it something finished? I think maybe inside every quilter is a little bit of crazy. So I would say that one is false. Let me know your opinions down below. This was so much fun to make. I hope you enjoyed this. It's all for fun and entertainment, and hope you get a kick out of it. Please subscribe and like this video while you're here, and let me know what you think down below. I'd love to hear from you. All right, have a great day, and I will see you real soon. Bye.